y'all, it's Alma with the Cat's Pajamas, and today I want to show you how to create these creepy Victorian vintage crystal balls. First, I got 4 of these glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree, and then when I went to Costco, I found these cute little glass cups holding my creme brulee. They didn't have any lids, and I thought they'd be perfect for the tops of the holders. This vase is also from Dollar Tree. I'll be using E6000 to attach each piece together. First, squeeze a line of E6000 around the top of one of the candlesticks and center the glass cup on the line of E6000. Then set it aside. This is the shortest holder. Now let's do the tall holder. Attach the vase to the candlestick, and then I'm going to let that set up a little bit and work on the medium stick. Now for the medium stand, just add a line of E6000 to one of the tops of the candlesticks and turn the other candlestick over, and then attach the cup to the top of that one. Now to finish the tall stand, we'll just do that by attaching the last cup to the very top. Let each set for 24 hours. That's the cure time for the E6000. After 24 hours have passed and the E6000 has cured, the stands look really sturdy. I think they look really good now, but I want to make them spooky. So I'll be spray painting them with a gloss black, and that'll help them look like one solid piece instead of many pieces put together. Now while the piece is dry, I'm going to create the inside of the balls. I'm using our new neighborhood stencil to create the scene for the inside. I'll be using 4-inch clear ornaments for the crystal balls, and I've drawn out 4-inch circles on the paper to act as a guide for where to place the objects. I've cut a 4.5-inch strip of acetate, and that's what I'll stencil on to create the scene for the inside of the ball. Sorry about the focus. I guess I had the autofocus on. I'm going to turn it off in the next section. It's really irritating. To create the scene, I'll be using permanent black ink. This ink is by Judikins, and it's a great black. I'm going to pick up a bit of black ink on my sponge. I'm going to dab most of it off. You really want a dry brush, because if your brush is too wet, the ink could slide underneath the stencil. Once you have a dry brush, hold the stencil in place and pounce the brush up and down. If you paint with the brush instead of pounce with the brush, you could brush under the stencil. Once you're done dabbing, carefully move the stencil and start on the second circle. I think these look pretty cool. Now the ink dries really fast, but not immediately. So if you turn the stencil over or you want to continue the scene by putting the stencil over a previous ink area, just make sure that the ink is dry. After all 3 scenes are done, we're going to cut them out. To hold the acetate to the paper for cutting, I'd like to staple it to the paper so it stays put. Now using the circle as a guide, cut the acetate and paper on the inside of the circle. You don't have to be exact. You can even cut quite a bit inside the line. You won't really be able to see it. And I'm going to leave a little tab the same width of the neck of the ornament at the base of the scene. That's going to hold the scene in place once it gets into the ornament. Now cut the other 2 exactly the same way. Now let's insert the scene inside the ball. Roll the acetate into a small roll with a tab at the bottom and insert into the globe. Release it, holding the tab, and the scene will unfold. If the tab is a little wide for the neck of the ornament, just trim it down. And if the seam is a little crooked, you can adjust it with a bamboo skewer. Once I have all three done, I'm going to add some fairy lights that will give off a sparkly light. First, make sure all your fairy lights work before you put all the work into this. That's very important. Then use a small bottle to wind the fairy lights around and glue to the base of the globe around the stem. And I'm going to do that for all three globes. Now let's get the black stems, and I think they look really spooky, really Victorian. I can just imagine them in a haunted Victorian house. I wanted to add some color to the crystal ball stems, so I got these great purple roses from the Dollar Tree and basically took the whole stem apart. Roses, thorns, leaves. But if you want, you can pass on adding the foliage and just add the globe and lights to the cup and be done. Me, I'm going to go with the flowers. I'm attaching the flowers to the top of the cup with a hot glue. I'm going to try and keep the inside of the cup as clear as possible for the ornament. And now the leaves. And finally the thorns for some texture. Now let's look at how it looks with the globe and lights on. Looks really good. Now all you have to do is finish the other two. You can use the same flowers or change them out. And that's it. I hope you give the creepy crystal balls a try. Have a spooky day!